alcohol versus weed. I'm here at Universal City Walk just noticing all the responsible adults getting their drink on around their kids at the bar, walking around with their drinks, dancing around. There's nothing wrong with that, I don't think at all. But one person just pulls out a little joint on the side, they could get tackled or fucked up by security. So why is that? Why is weed so bad? Well, if you know anything about anything, you know the truth. And the truth is that no one's ever died from a weed overdose. Ever. Period. They can't even find the lethal dose. Now that doesn't mean someone hasn't been really high and done something dumb and died. That has happened. People do shit that's dumb and die all the time. Sober or not, we know this. But I'd be willing to assume, and I don't even have to assume, that more people have died from accidents related to alcohol than weed, even though weed is used more around the world. One fact about me is weed is the only thing I've ever done that hasn't made me throw up. Everything else has made me throw up. All drugs that I've ever done have made me throw up, other than weed. Weed's actually saved me one day when I was throwing up all day and couldn't eat. I was about to go to the hospital. It made me stop throwing up and be able to eat. People say, oh, look at the percentage of THC going up in the weed, and it's like, oh, well, have you ever noticed that beer's 5% in some beers, and that they have 100 proof vodka, you know? Like, that doesn't bother you? You could fucking clean a counter or your car with vodka. It's literally toxic. It's toxic to humans ever so slightly, and extremely physically addictive. Look it up, motherfucker. InfoWars right now on you. Weed isn't physically addictive, although some people will develop extreme dependencies on it, like anything, like gambling or something, because it feels good, and it's likely that someone will abuse it and do it a lot all the time, but when they stop, they're not going to have withdrawals. Xanax fucking will give withdrawals so bad that it could kill you. Xanax has killed people from the withdrawals, and that's prescribed to left and right to anyone. I got a prescription for it. Adderall, which is amphetamine salts, can be prescribed to kids as young as 4 years old by a nurse practitioner. After one appointment for signs of ADHD, which is not a disease or a condition that can be tested for in your blood or piss. It's kind of just this kid doesn't pay attention as well, ADHD. So let's give him fucking amphetamines. Speed. 4-year-old. That's not a drug dealer. You know, he's cool. He can do whatever. It's cool. But you sell a plant that you could grow in your backyard. A little green plant in a bag. A plant. It's not poisonous, not toxic, not known to make people outraged, belligerent, and violent like alcohol. And you can be locked up in jail your whole life. And it has happened to people, especially minorities. So it's pretty fucked up. It's the first thing that you learn after you smoke weed that opens your eyes to the tyranny, and that your country may not be so free, that you are equally as oppressed as a lot of countries that are communist or not democracies at all. Weed is less bad than alcohol. It's very objective to say that. 0 deaths from overdose. Alcohol, one of the leading causes of deaths. The leading cause of death currently in America, and you can look this up, is prescription drug overdoses. Why is it that someone can be fucking on heroin and their way of getting him off is just putting him on something that's a little less addictive, but it's still made from heroin, still made from the same chemicals, opioids, when there's a plant, natural-ass plant, that you don't have to do weird shit to make affect you, called ibogaine. And it can cure withdrawals, literally cure, like in one use. You will not have withdrawals after, but it's also extremely illegal. It's Schedule 1, which means there's no, medical value. But we all know that's bullshit. Of course there's medical value. It's ibogaine and weed are medicine. They're plants, they're natural. They're plants before they're drugs. This goes for shrooms too, but I was just talking about alcohol and weed. As you can see over here, so someone could drink half a bottle of that and die tonight. There are people that would. Someone can drink a couple shots of that and be walking around. someone even with a tolerance can drink an entire bottle of that and die from overdose. But if you had enough weed to fill that entire glass box, you would keep smoking it until you fell asleep, and you definitely wouldn't be violent, stumbling around, screaming, whatever. You'd get really tired and fall asleep and not want to smoke anymore. There's no lethal dose. You could smoke a fuckload and be alright. At a certain point, you just stay the same level of high, and it's a waste of weed. Even 100% pure THC won't fuck someone up like 100% pure alcohol will, like rubbing alcohol or some shit like that. It's just scary that it's the drug of choice in America. It's no wonder that we have so many people willing to go fight for reasons that they don't even know, or think they know, for someone else's agenda, and be alright with that, putting their life on the line for that. If the country all smoked weed, no one would do that. No one would go off to war like that. You wouldn't have as many people willing to build your roads and buildings for you if you were government. If you had a bunch of hippies, I mean, it would be a lot more peaceful. But then how you gonna make money off your private prisons, and how you're not even gonna have any cops to fucking pay if people are acting good. So it's expected that people are gonna get out of hand on alcohol. Fucking alcohol's advertised on TV like it's nothing. Like little kids can see it during Super Bowl. No one cares. No one thinks that's bad. But if I put up a video about a certain drug, like, and my parent were to see it, like, they'd be like super pissed. They'd say, once you feel bad, someone could die. Like doing that, being like inspired by you to do it. And I'm like, people die out by alcohol every day. Someone died from an alcohol overdose in that time that I was silent. You can be sure. Heroin as well. How many people have died from a weed overdose? None since the beginning of time. Just how it is. So why the fuck is it illegal? Oh yeah, because our policy isn't made from common sense, logic, and reason, science, or anything like that. It's just made by the uninformed opinions of a few fucking retarded, or actually a lot of retarded people. Not that anything is wrong with being retarded, as in like you have a physical condition which causes you not to have as high IQ as the average, but most people have working brains that they choose not to use, and it's fucking retarded. My advice to you is to get out of this country and move to like fucking Portugal or Switzerland, not Switzerland, the Netherlands, or Sweden or some shit, you know? It's getting bad. It's getting bad. Maybe I'll talk about some more political stuff later or some shit, but the fact is that it's fucked up, okay? Everyone around here getting drunk, but no one can just light a joint. No one can like fucking have weed. Fucking weed. No one can eat a little weed cookie in here. They're gonna be put in a box. I feel like that the cops enforcing the law are actually the ones breaking it. They're infringing on people's rights and people's natural rights, and they are very morally compensated every time they arrest a person or take away a person's kids because they have weed. It's an outrage. And like TM would say, it's a sign of cultural immaturity. It's just weird that we have millions of people in which some are extremely smart and some are literally a fucking step away from being a caveman still. It's like we're in a country that's 100% dependent off of science and technology, in which no one knows about science and technology, and that's a Carl Sagan quote. I'm getting off topic here, okay? Fuck alcohol, okay? Fuck it. It's not a safe drug. It's not a drug that's good for you or your brain. It's not a drug that has much medical value except for being used as an anesthetic. Fucking go with that weed, go with that green, go with that ganja, go with that spiritual one mind, whatever the fuck it may be. It's a lot cooler than fucking people who get belligerent drunk and start fights and think they're the shit, misogynistic pieces of bitch. Anyways, this was really long and I don't know why I decided to make it. People are looking at me weird, so I'm gonna turn it off. Get stoned.